Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Luther Dupree Jr., Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Relsano. Luther, let's get to it. Lots of fight this past week. Get to the one that we think might be a fight of the year.
Listen, I called it before it happened. I said Sebastian FONDURA versus LUBIN would be the fight of the year. I stand by that. Both of those guys showed heart. Sebastian FONDURA, man, what can we say about this guy? He is the ultimate weight bully, 6'6". I don't know how he makes it down to 154 pounds. How can he keep doing it? But he looked great out there. I mean, he threw nothing but uppercuts, and Lubin's corner was absolutely disgusting in that fight. I was upset. Kev Cunningham is an excellent trainer, but you know, the swelling, where was the inswell in that
Where was
fight?
the inswell?
They put a bag of his ice on him, and he's out there running around looking like the Elephant Man. It was just, wow. Sebastian FONDURA put a beating on him, and the judges had Lubin up. Did you know that?
I know.
The judges had Lubin up, and he could have easily died. He got dropped twice. I mean, but both of those guys showed heart. Terrence Crawford said, Sebastian FONDURA, look at that face, man. He reminded me of, you know, Martin had a show where he fought Tommy Hearns.
Yeah,
and he had that same look. I looked at him, I said, is this Martin? I thought it was the same thing. Listen, Lubin showed heart, but it looked like he was an episode of Martin after that one.
Good, Luther.
Listen, man, Sebastian FONDURA is amazing. And when I think about him, man, you know, you hear him talk, you look at him. One of my favorite movies was Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
And he's the best, he's the most powerful nerd I've ever seen in my life. You know, he's a monster. Look at just all arms coming at you. His defense is, well, he blocks with his face. But Lubin wouldn't go to the body. You see how he wears his shorts really high to protect some of his stomach. But here, Lubin came back and showed heart.
Lubin's tough.
And he showed a lot of heart. Look, I thought he could have really done something here. Put him down, referee slid him to the other corner, but then once again.
Now, FONDURA said he went down on purpose to take a knee, which was smart. I don't know if he did it on purpose.
Yeah, well, those punches kind of helped.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, but that was the smart thing. He was going to get knocked out bad, and then the corner threw in the towel. Just amazing. But FONDURA, what could you say, man? He's the baddest nerd I've ever seen in my life. And he's going to make some waves. I don't think he beats Jermell Charlo, but it's going to be a tough fight.
Now or down the road?
Oh, it should be next.
No,
it should be next.
Really?
Yeah, that's a bad boy. That's the baddest nerd I've ever seen in my life, man. He's tough.
Mr. Frazier.
Well, if we can edit out the Revenge of the Nerd, I want Lou to lose his black card. But, hey, you know, for me,
you already lost that.
for me, like Roberto Clemente used to say,
right.
It can't be the fight of the year if it doesn't go the distance. It reminded me of 1971 when Muhammad Ali put Joe Frazier in the hospital for 3 months. It looked like the same face. Only thing I have to say is I was a little disappointed in FONDURA not taking his gloves off after the fight. Man gets his face beat from one side to the other, and I want to check the gloves.
Here you go, Jim.
No, I'm just saying.
There's pictures of him in the ring with his gloves off.
No, there's not.
Yes, sir, there is.
He did not take his gloves off.
Yes, there's
Well,
pictures
where
of.
are you? You showed a lot of pictures.
Well, you ain't telling me you was going to bring up some fake news, but I should have known you were going to do that.
Again,
here we go. Jim
I'm
with a
not the only
conspiracy.
expert commentating on that. Listen, I love the kid. Like I said, you took it down on that fight.
My first one, you're right.
So I love FONDURA. But like I said, it can't be the fight of the year when everybody in your corner and your family jumps in the ring and saves you. So it has to go the distance, but it was a great fight, and it was a great fight for boxing. Congratulations, 6'6", 154 pounds.
How long could he make
which
that?
proves you can do it if you're disciplined.
All right. Here's some notes that I wrote during the fight. One word for FONDURA. He stalks his opponent. He stalked Lubin. He's a tall guy, but his punches are short and quick. He's got a long reach.
Quick?
Short
You
and
think
quick.
your punches are quick?
Well, they were short, and short makes it look quick. He didn't come along. He wasn't loopy. He had a pretty good chin. Okay, he's smart, intelligent guy in the ring. Again, short and quick. He's accurate with a lot of his punches. Of course, Lubin didn't move a lot, but he was pretty accurate. I liked his uppercuts. Okay, because how many times we talked about uppercuts on this show? He throws a variety of punches. He doesn't just fall in love with one punch. He's all over the place. His feet aren't bad. You know, Jim and you and I talk about feet all the time. But the one thing I didn't like was he doesn't use his height. Okay, he's a little bit too close. Which again, if you have that kind of a long reach, you would think that your power is kind of taken back because you can't extend. But somehow he does. He's like, and this is in a good way, he's like a freak in nature. That tall, that light, and with that long of a reach, and he still has pop.
Smallest thighs I've ever seen.
I'm telling you, he's like sticks.
Yeah.
Were you going to say, Luke?
What I was going to say, if you notice, when Lubin put him down, he didn't do it from the inside. He did it from the outside. What I see
Lubin
about...
didn't put him down. He took a knee.
Okay, I saw a lot of hits to the face. Listen, but Fundura, he's not good at long range. You know, I'm not sure if his accuracy is off because he doesn't really see, but I see after the fight he put his glasses on.
Right,
So
yeah.
he likes to get in close, but if you look, his accuracy on his
Maybe he
jab
went through the
and long
crawl
ones,
gym.
it doesn't,
Maybe he
it's
went
not
through
good.
the crawl
Oh, there you go.
I got to ask you guys something before I forget. I didn't write this down. I thought of you especially. When Lubin knocked Fundura down, now
He took a knee.
well, but he still went down.
still went down.
But he dominated that round. I think all the judges, including Steve Farhood on Showtime, gave it a 10-9 round. Wow. So is it an automatic 10-8 for you if a guy goes down, or if he does not dominate the round and a guy goes down, it's a 10-9? Were you okay with it?
I gave it a 10-8 round. I mean, yes, Fundura
Were you
was doing
okay
good.
with a 10-9 round?
I mean, that's their opinion.
He's not gonna
That's their
answer.
opinion. I think it should have been a 10-8. That's what I feel it should have been a 10-8 round. That's what I gave it because Fundura was in bad shape. The ring saved him, and it was great. He took that knee, and the referee gave him a little extended time by sliding Lubin to the other
always thinks
side.
there's long counts all the time.
There's long counts.
Well, it's never going to be
There's
exactly
long counts.
8 seconds or 10 seconds. I mean, it's never going to be
Listen,
that.
Mora has a questionable history in the ring. You know, he also did the
Buster
Wilder.
Douglas,
He also
Tyson,
did the
Jack
Wilder,
Dempsey,
No,
Tunney.
he did the Wilder Fury fight. And what do we know about that? There was another long count. Abner Mora, he let a lot of low blows go through. I mean, so there's been some questionable things with Mora as a referee.
Your
Claudio.
thoughts on the 10-8, 10-9?
Well, Luther got everything down pat except for Fundura not taking his gloves off at the end of the fight.
I'll have it for the next. We'll have it for the next one.
Yeah, I would have got, you get knocked down like that in a series
Automatic
of
10-8.
punches, it's a 10-8. I like to be consistent.
Yeah.
I'm a consistent judge. It's a 10-8 round.
How about if it was a flash knockdown? Would you still be at 10-8? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, listen, man. When you getting hit like that and get dropped, you've lost that round to me. I mean, because he took about 7, 8 punches flush, and he was going to get dropped on his neck if he didn't take that knee.
So again, no
You
matter
mean
what.
like a flash knockdown like Kevin Howard put Sugar Ray down? Yeah, no, that's 10-9.
That would have been 9. Okay. All right. So again, see, at first when I saw that 10-9, I wasn't too happy about it. But the more I think about it, if a guy dominates the division, dominates a round, and maybe he clips him with 6 seconds left, okay, are you still going to give an automatic 10-8?
Well, that's a little different. That wasn't. That was a solid 8 punches in a row from one side of the ring to the other, and he dropped.
So it varies.
It varies, yeah.
Okay.
Now, if a guy's dominating, the guy just gets caught and he, drops a flash knockdockdown, no.
He's not going to answer.
Can Fundura be a superstar, Luther?
He's on his way. He's
Already
on his
a
way.
superstar.
He's not a superstar yet. This is catapulting him into superstardom. Now let's see if he takes the Jamel Charlo fight and beats him.
What's your definition of a superstar?
He's not a superstar yet. You go, okay, a definition of a superstar. We could walk out now and ask, who's Sebastian Fundura?
Right.
9 out of 10
We
people
walk
will be like,
out
And not
now.
just boxing
they'll think he's a
fans.
baseball player.
Right.
We walk out now and ask who's Errol Spence. Ain't nobody in Pittsburgh know who he is.
You know what? Hey, he's got a point. He's got a point. Like I told you many times about Anthony Joshua.
Okay.
Big billboard, and good looking guy, good build, had boxing gloves on. He's like, who is
listen,
that?
Again, apples to oranges. Boxing is huge in the UK. They
But I'm
support
talking
it a
about-
lot more than in here. You know what I mean? Errol Spence is a big name. I bet that Dallas Arena is going to be packed
Yeah.
to the house.
will be.
I bet it's still going to do 250,000 pay-per-views.
Wow.
So, hey, listen, in today's climate, that's good.
Wow.
Some
Revenge of
Bud
the nerds.
Crawford only got 150,000.
You know, I skipped something. You think it was a good stoppage?
I think was an excellent stoppage. You know, too bad Lubin's family was throwing ice at Cunningham in the ring.
Yeah.
He almost had to run and go slap somebody in the audience. It was an excellent stoppage because if you look at that round, Lubin had stopped throwing. You know, and Lubin suffered major injuries.
Broken nose, separated
broken
shoulder,
jaw, a separated
puffy.
shoulder, so he couldn't throw. So that was an excellent
Let's
stoppage.
check out the gloves.
What do you think? Good stoppage? Good stoppage?
Well-
I know you don't like stoppages.
Yeah, well, I like
Excellent
as a
stoppage.
referee, I'm not going to stop a fight. But the
That's
corner,
your job.
No, and the corner, no, the job is for the fighter to go down and stay down for a 10 count, or for the corner to stop it. So I have no problem with the corner stopping it. As a referee, I think the referee did the right thing. Let them fight.
Oh, gosh.
Now, Luth, you mentioned Charlo fight. I know you're going to get all wound up with me. Not yet. Not yet. Go ahead.
That
Why
was
do
a-
you think?
Listen, that was a #1 WBC eliminator. Where does he go from here? He
more
would fight the
experience.
champion. What now? There's more experience. He's ready now.
You think he's ready now?
Listen, he's 6'6". How long could he make 154 pounds?
Good point.
He got to take it now. He's at the top of his game. Let him challenge
Okay.
the Castano Charlo winner. That's where I say, you know.
Jim, you think he's ready for Charlo or Castano? See, by you having to think about it.
Well,
ready.
you know,
Marinate, let him marinate.
I think this is a fighter that Charlo will fight.
Listen, 154 is the most competitive division because they all fight. You can't say who's ducking who because they've all fought each other.
For example,
Jamel Charles fought Rosario. He fought J-Rock. He fought Lubin. He fought all these guys. They're all in the top 10, Jim. What are you talking about?
Hall of
This is the most competitive division. They're all. Could you say somebody's avoiding somebody? No. Castano and Charlo both have belts and they're unifying for undisputed. What can you say?
again,
I wish all divisions were fighting like 154.
Claudio asked me, and I gave my honest answer. I think this is a guy Charlo would fight.
So who hasn't he fought, Jim? So who hasn't he fought? Jim, who hasn't he fought? Who hasn't he
His
fought?
brother, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Well, all in all,
Trolling
I
Jim.
really enjoyed the fight. I think he's elevated himself quite a bit because Lubin's tough. You got to give him credit. He's he threw punches, took some punches.
He could take
and now
a
we
beat
know
like no other, man.
Yeah, now we know who Lubin is. I mean, I'm sorry, not Lubin, but Fundora is. I'm not going to go crazy if he fights the winner, Charlo Castano. I'm okay with it. But if it was me, I would do
Let it
one
marinate,
more
right?
fight.
Yep.
One more
and
fight.
And that's why we don't get the big fights, because people have you guys' attitudes. And we don't get the big fights. They sit and marinate, and then we get Floyd and Pacquiao at the tail end of their career.
Not that long.
Or Crawford and Spence. Probably at the tail. We don't even know if they're going to fight now. No. Make the fights when it happens. AJ, like Smoke and Jim, you were big on AJ ducking Wilder. That fight should have happened. Now look what happened. They both have taken 2 losses.
True.
And we may never see that fight.
Only duck we had was Luis Ortiz
Well,
ducking
no,
AJ.
AJ ducked him. That was supposed to happen.
No, he took step aside money happily.
No, he took step aside money so they
He
could
couldn't
fight.
understand. He couldn't understand what was coming out of their mouth. He took the step aside.
Well,
He got fake news. He got information from somebody like a Smoking Jim. That's why.
Smoke-a-pina.
And he never got to fight. Another guy AJ didn't fight. Who was supposed
I
to
think
fight.
it was a great, entertaining fight. Great for
Great.
boxing.
Best of the
Although,
year.
Luther, again, what you said about him being ahead in the
Ooh,
card,
how did-
Lubin, that was
who
ridiculous.
had Lubin ahead in that fight? Man, they must have had those cards written
That
out
would have been bad
before
if
the
it
fight.
gone to the decision.
Oh, that would have been
and he would have
amazing.
won with a face
With
like
a
that,
face
all busted
blown
up. That would not have been
couldn't stand
good.
up, couldn't know where he was at, and he got the belt.
That'd have been
And
bad.
he- oh,
That'd have been
yeah.
bad. All right, another fight that
Just like Joe Frazier. Same face Joe Frazier had when he got the
Oh,
belt.
stop, Jim.
lightweight fight. Ryan Garcia is now 22-0-18 against Manuel Tago, 32-15. Luther, it would be hard to look good in that fight. I know Garcia didn't look good. There were some things I'll get to in a
Don't
second.
make excuses, Claudio.
No, you're right. But let me ask you this: when your whole game, Luther and Jim, is speed and accuracy and timing, and you haven't fought in a while, and on top of that, you fight a guy who's making a track meet and not even trying to win, not even trying to engage in a fight, doesn't even have a game plan, just stay away. It's hard to look good. Am I right or wrong?
I'm not going to give Ryan Garcia any excuses. This Tago was running. It looked like he was in a marathon. He came over here just to run around the ring. So what do you do if you're a good fighter? You cut off the ring.
Right,
He never cut
excellent
off
point.
the ring. He's flat-footed.
Very
You
good.
know, he got a left jab. He got very sloppy at times. Look at that. Throwing a punch off
Long.
and threw
Hey, wait,
himself out of it.
he throws longer punches than
Than Fundora.
Fundora.
Yeah, you know, I was
point.
very disappointed with Ryan Garcia in this fight. He should have done so much more. This guy didn't want to fight. He wanted to survive. You know, he talked a big game. You know, I had Ryan Garcia taking this guy out in 4 rounds. And Ryan Garcia is right. He said, I'm done calling out all these guys because he's not ready.
Right.
He doesn't know how to cut off the ring. He's very limited. He's still flat-footed. And he wants to be an Instagram model.
Yep. You took the words from my notes here. Didn't cut the ring off. Could have used his jab more effectively. Threw some wide punches that if he does that against an upper-level guy, he's going to get caught. I do think he has it in him. I do think he has it in him to be a star in the ring and out. Okay? He has the ability.
One more thing. You know, he was with a new trainer, Joe Goosen. Do you think he was missing that Canelo meat and that Valdez tea? I don't know. I don't know. He didn't look as strong or as powerful.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what fight you guys were watching. I've never seen a more dominant fighter. He hit him with every shot he wanted to
We
hit.
can cut his
he was
mic.
fast as
He's got the notebook.
anybody
Cut
that's
his
ever
mic.
been in the ring.
Oh, my gosh.
The body shots, the head shots. I mean,
That was one of his
you
worst
had a guy from
performances.
Ghana. Hey, man, this guy don't run from nobody, man. He was running.
He did that day.
He would make, not only did he make Toga run, but he would make Haney and all the rest of them run.
Well,
This
why did he
is
call
the
him
best
out after the fight?
Because he's trying to be a mature and classy.
Yeah,
he's
he
doing
knows he's not
the
ready.
adult thing. He's ready. If he had hit him with a 2x4, that's the only thing he could have done better. He hit him with every shot. In
Did he
the
cut
ball.
off the ring?
He had him out so many times.
He had a
The
what?
guy ran.
He had a what?
He had him out.
When?
He knocked him
Wow.
down. He knocked him down. The guy was out on
The
his
referee
feet.
didn't even call it a knockdown.
Huh? It was a knockdown? It was a knockdown?
He didn't call. I don't
He
think
didn't call it a knockdown.
Wow. On my TV, it was called a knockdown.
And even
On that
if it
Apple
was a
computer
flash
you bought.
knockdown.
On that Apple computer you just
Yeah,
bought,
the guy
right?
it was that uppercut. He didn't even know he got hit with uppercut. He was out of it. He was like, he hit me in the back of my head. He started talking English for a
Jim,
change.
you got to start watching fights with the
He
glasses
won
on.
every single round against a guy that was 32-2. You couldn't ask for a more dominant fight,
The guy,
in my opinion.
The guy
In my opinion.
the guy
For me.
was running.
Yes,
The whole
yes,
fight and didn't
yes.
throw any punches.
Yes.
You know, if I went in there and threw one punch, I would have won.
Why did he
the guy
run?
didn't.
Because he got hurt early. He seen that speed, brother.
That was
he
not.
seen that hand speed.
Ryan Garcia would tell you that wasn't a good performance by him.
Huh?
Ryan Garcia, the guy who fought, who you're talking about, Jim, he will say that wasn't his best
Only
performance.
thing he said was
And I'm
that
not calling out
he
anybody
felt-
else.
He felt that he should have knocked the guy out, but the guy ran. And he beat him every round. He
Jim-
Did you give the African any rounds?
His name is Tom. Okay, Jim, were you impressed the way he cut off the ring? Did he cut off the ring?
I was impressed with everything about
So he
it.
cut off the ring in your
I
opinion.
was impressed
that's a
with
good point,
everything.
Luke.
Did he
about
cut
it.
off the ring? Yes.
I was impressed with
So
everything.
you're not going to answer the
about it.
question.
I was impressed with everything about
Two things,
it.
Luke. No, one thing, because I'm with you 1,000%. He did not cut off the ring. He could have done better. The punches were longer than they should have. He left himself open when he threw some of them
And
wide
he
punches.
always does. He still has his chin
And,
high.
and
Body
somebody
stance.
quick is going to catch him.
He better stay away from Tank Davis. He better stay away from
Right now,
Lomachenko.
what-
Probably for good.
What did you like about Garcia's performance?
Well, I mean, he showed stamina.
Number one, he fought. I
He
was
showed
glad he fought.
stamina, and he didn't pull out of this fight like
Yeah.
he did the last 4. So that's good. Now they're talking a JoJo Diaz fight. I might take
Good.
JoJo. I might
That's a good
take
opponent.
JoJo Diaz
Really?
against Ryan
Well, you
Garcia.
lost money before.
When?
Wilder.
Listen.
I mean, he ain't
Listen,
to listen
that's
to
a
that.
long-
That
brother.
African
that was a
heavyweight.
long
The
time ago.
African heavyweight.
Long time ago. Those are 2 fights. Long time ago. We're talking 2022. What am I doing
I
here in
think that's a good
2022?
fight. I think that's a good fight against Diaz, and I think that'll be an impressive. I think he's going to do well against Diaz, and I think I'm really hoping because I think he could be great for boxing. Good-looking guy. Got an attitude, got a mouth. He's got a nice team behind him. Boxing needs a guy like that.
Yes.
And I think a
troll.
Nah, I mean, he's got to
good-
turn it
he's
up in
good
the
on
ring,
social
though.
media.
He's got to turn it
He's
up in the
great
ring.
on-
Luke.
hey, he's great on social media. He looks good on Instagram. I'd like him to look great in the ring.
Right,
That's what I'm
right,
waiting for.
Right. I think against Diaz, that could be his coming out party, and then we can start talking about the bigger fights. You're not impressed with? You don't think it can happen?
Listen, man, I'm not sure he's dedicated to the sport.
Well, yo,
You
he's
know?
got to be. You got to be. You're right.
I don't think he's dedicated to the sport. He likes the idea of being a boxer, but he should have fought some better fighters by now. He calls these guys out and then won't fight. He called Tank Davis. No, I'm fighting Pacquiao. No, I'm not. I'm fighting Diaz. No, I'm not. Just pulled out. I want to see this guy really get it. I'm not impressed.
You think Goosen will make a change?
If he can, I don't think anybody will. I mean, he already ran through Reynoso, who was trainer of the year for a couple times. You left him, go to Joe Goosen.
Right.
Now, if you leave him, you don't want to fight.
Right.
And I think that's what's going to be next.
Your prediction on Garcia's future?
Hall of Fame.
No, I don't know about Hall of Fame.
Oh,
he has
come
ability. He has quick hands. He can hit. He just has some. Am I right in saying he has to tighten some things up?
Oh, he has a listen, you guys give him more credit than I do. I think he's very limited. I think he doesn't know how to cut off the ring.
But
I
you
think
can learn
I
that,
think,
Luke.
listen, he's
He's
been
an
fighting
athlete.
for a
He's an
long
athlete,
time.
right?
Well, we'll see.
Muhammad
Some-
Ali had to work on some things. Hands down, lead
He
right
did
hand,
that on purpose.
leaning
Oh, he did that on-
He
backwards.
did that on purpose.
He did that on
Pardon me?
purpose, like Roy Jones.
Pardon me?
You
Right,
don't
listen.
teach that.
All right.
The worst thing
If
for
I could-
boxing was Muhammad Ali, because everybody tried to do that and they was getting knocked out.
Oh,
There was
Jim,
only
all right,
one Ali.
We could cut
There
his
was
mic.
only one
Yeah,
Ali.
No. He was the best thing for boxing.
Kareem Abdul with the sky hook. Everybody who can do the sky hook but him.
Anyway,
Some of these guys are
back
bad
to
for
your
the sport.
back to your original question. There's a lot of things.
Don't emulate that.
Listen, he's very flat-footed. I don't know what his chin
He
looks
ain't
like.
trying to be a policeman.
He's too flat-footed. He doesn't know how to cut off the ring. He walks with his
But
head
you
up.
can learn that.
Well,
if
he
you're
should've-
more dedicated, as
listen,
you said.
We'll see. Listen,
And Goosen will do
Canelo,
that.
Canelo said he doesn't go to the gym much.
Well, you better start, Luther.
Reynoso said he's not dedicated. We'll see what
No,
Joe
you gotta
Goosen get
start.
out of him. I'm not impressed.
Well, when we come back, we have two more fights to talk about: the Triple G fight, the Tony Harrison fight. When we come back to the boxing authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. Two other important, interesting fights over the weekend. We'll start with the 40-year-old Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, who was 42-1, won in 37 knockouts, fought a game, in my opinion, Ryota Murata to unify the WBA. He already has the IBF, IBA. Let me start over again. WBA, IBF. There's so many damn letters anymore.
Right.
Middleweight titles. Again, 40 years old, showed a ton of respect for Murata after the fight. I think Triple G is great for boxing. You weren't all that impressed with Triple G.
Everybody's great for boxing. Listen, it would be great for boxing if Triple G would have unified with a Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade and not sat on the belt for 2 years. He looked old. He looked slow. He fought a guy that was sea level. He got hit with a couple body shots early in the fight. Come on, what is Canelo going to do? What? Look, he looks old. The legs don't look good anymore. Murata's backing him up. And this guy gets to fight Canelo. Look at that. He wasn't never the fastest puncher. Now he looks even slower. Body shots were really giving him problems early in the fight. Murata's sea level and was really fighting him tooth and nail the first couple rounds. He's done. He's finished. I see why he didn't fight Jamal Charlo or Boo Boo, because he would have got knocked out. Look at this guy getting moved around by sea level. No, and that knockout was very, very suspect. I mean, that knockout was very suspect. I don't know if it was. Not impressed. Not impressed. I don't want him to get the Canelo fight. Canelo's going to run through that old man and give him a nice retirement check, but he's going to wash Triple G in 4 rounds.
A lot of people are saying that. A lot
It's
of people
horrible.
are saying he's going to
It's
walk
horrible.
right
He
through.
hasn't fought for 2 years.
But I mean, if he
get
fights
stripped?
Canelo, if he fights Canelo.
If he fights Canelo or anybody else that's not sea level, he gets knocked out.
Jim, your thoughts on the fight?
I'm glad to see Luther getting on the Canelo bandwagon finally.
Against a 40-year-old washed fighter.
That 40-year-old.
Hey, I always wanted to go to Tokyo, and this would have been a good fight for me to go to Tokyo and
gosh,
enjoy
to see
it. Hey, listen, Triple G always been a monster, always been a legend.
look like it there.
He did the right thing after the fight. He went to the locker room and gave the guy back the belt, which that happens all the time. You only get the belt. You only keep the belt, for the show after
Right.
the fight.
They
They
make another
get the
one.
belt. Yeah, they make another one for you. So that was good public relations. He did what he had to do. He got a knockout. The guy's 42-1-1. People ran from him his whole career.
Stop.
He is the
Nobody
Ernie
ran from him.
Shavers. He's the Ernie Shavers of that weight
Nobody
class.
ran from him.
And to get that knockout after being idle for so long, and he'll be better in this next fight.
I
Congratulations.
call it holding the
to
belt
Triple G.
hostage.
Now you're a huge, obviously, Canelo fan.
Yes.
biggest-
Tony
That's
Bellew,
right.
a lot of
He's
guys
a
are
fanboy.
saying
He's a
gonna,
Canelo fanboy.
he's going to walk
It's
through him.
worse.
He's going to walk through him, people think. Do you think he's going to walk through Triple G
Easy.
in a third fight? If Canelo
Everybody-
gets by Bivol.
Okay, we only take it, when you're top 5 pound for pound of all time, you don't look past.
But they are. They're the ones who are scheduled,
No,
not
no,
us.
no,
They're the
we-
ones saying we're going to fight Bivol,
No,
then
he-
Triple
They
G
already
next.
scheduled. It's
Canelo-
already penciled in.
Canelo doesn't look past his opponents, but he schedules, because he fights, he's so active. You got to get it on the calendar, man. You know what I mean? You got to get it on the calendar.
Two
you
fights.
think he's gonna
nobody-
walk
two
through-
fights nobody wanted to see.
I wanna see it.
Nobody
Let's
wants to see
say
that
he
Triple
walks.
G.
Let's say he beats Bivol, which I'm not totally sure it's going to happen. We'll get to that later, another time. But do you think he's going to walk through Triple G, or you think it's going to be competitive?
No one in the history of boxing walks through Triple G. He's the most feared guy since
All right,
Ernie
Joe,
Shavers.
that's not true.
No, it's going to be a great. Listen, Triple G got a fight under his belt. He's a young 40. He
didn't look young that fight. He looked old and slow.
He worked on some things.
What'd he work on?
And now he's going to be better for the next fight. It's almost like, remember the guy that Fury fought before he fought Wilder the first time?
Otto Wallin.
Yeah, he didn't look good. He was working on some things, but he looked good against Wilder.
Yeah, excellent point.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, so he
Excellent.
didn't look good against Murata. He may just look like a 30-year-old against Canelo. I know Canelo's better and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it was just an off night.
No.
Or what do they say in boxing? Styles make fights.
No.
Maybe it was the wrong guy.
And you both are completely
Who's
wrong.
better, Wallin or Wilder?
Oh, come on, Wilder. Listen,
but then how come he looked better?
Don't compare a heavyweight
Oh, how about
to
in
this
football?
40-year-old
a team will have a hell of a
Triple
time
G.
against
We're not going to do that.
3-12 team and beat a team that's 13-2.
Listen, I'm not going with any of that nonsense you guys are talking. Triple G
I'm
looked
with
old.
Jim.
He looked slow. A C-level guy was giving him that body work the first 4 rounds until he got knocked out with some mysterious
Maybe
right
he
I
didn't
saw.
take him as seriously against Canelo. Let me ask you this. Every time
He's getting knocked out in 4
Every
against
time a
Canelo.
team plays
Nobody
your
wants to
old,
see that
old
fight.
Claudio here, I don't care who it is, they turn it up. I'll take it as a compliment.
They do.
So whenever they play the Steelers, oh man, we're playing Steelers. Right? Turn
You
it-
got to have something to turn up. Triple G
don't
can't
think he
turn it up
has
anymore.
anymore?
No. You know, a real prime Triple G washes that Murata in 2 rounds easy. He doesn't get caught with body shots almost like he wanted to take a knee. He got hit with 3 body shots, deep rest.
You don't give Murata any credit at all.
He's C-level. He's
He's a
C-level
champion.
and fought a guy going to the Hall of Fame. And then went down in the 9th, they threw in the towel.
Jim,
No.
so if and I agree with
C-level.
you, Jim. So you think if Canelo fought what the hell is his name? Oh yeah, Triple G.
Triple G.
He would perform better against Triple G.
Oh, man.
Triple G
Quit
would
hyping
perform
that
better
fight
against
up.
Canelo than
Garbage
he did
fight.
against
Garbage.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
It's a garbage fight. Nobody wants to see it.
I'm
That
getting
fight,
tongue-tied. I
they
think
should
too
have
much
raced that.
caffeine for
They
a
should
fight
have
today.
raced that fight for the scheduled shoot as they saw how bad Triple G looked.
But let me ask you this.
Nobody's going back.
Let me ask you this. To your point, you always say he cherry picks
Oh.
Canelo.
Oh,
Do you think
this-
maybe
this is
they
the
saw
ultimate
something?
cherry picker.
Right, they saw something. So man, yeah, now after Murata, we're definitely going to fight Murata.
Yeah, they
Canelo
saw
now.
that he hadn't fought for 2 years. He's over 40 and is losing it. He's losing it. He's
and it's
done.
good on the record. He beat
Now you
Triple
can
G,
say
yeah.
he stopped Triple G
3
in the
times.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Not impressed. More
Now,
cherry picked by Canelo.
Another fight that that made some headlines. Tony Harrison, who's now 29, 3-1 and 21 knockouts, unanimous decision against Sergio Garcia, who was 32, 2-14, a super welterweight clash. Thoughts on the fight?
Tony Harrison, super bad from Detroit, was back. He was in his bag. He's a great classic boxer. Right. Sergio Garcia was coming at him, and he fought Sebastian Fundora the last fight. Yeah. But, Tony Harrison, head movement, he was just playing with this guy. He was in his bag, ducking. Now, this is what Lubin should have been trying to do against a guy coming forward. Stick the jab out there, move, side to side. And listen, Tony Harrison is a guy that could fight Sebastian Fundora. And I think he could frustrate
that's
him.
what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know if I'm Fundora, I'd be careful who I fight because Harrison might beat him.
Harrison could definitely beat him because of his movement, but also Harrison, later in the fight, stamina issues catch up to him.
But you can get better with that.
Yeah, listen, no. He is what he is. Every fight I've seen, he starts off fast, and stamina really kicks in about the 10th, 11th, and 12th round, the later the fight goes. That's what happened against Jermell Charlo, and he got caught. Right. But that would be a great fight, but he would make it frustrating because he wouldn't stand in there and be a punching bag for Fundora. Fundora likes to get on the inside. Tony Harrison would keep him outside with the jab and keep turning him.
Smart.
Which is what Cunningham was telling Lubin to do, but he wouldn't do it. He would just stand there and, take uppercut after uppercut after uppercut.
Jim, your thoughts on the fight?
Well, Tony Harrison, to me, looked better jumping off the stage at the media on the punch of the
against
media
that one guy.
guy.
It wasn't a media, that was a boxer, Jim.
You know what I mean?
That was a boxer.
He looked better in the media room than he did in the ring. Listen.
Really?
What?
That Tony
He
Harrison.
He dominated that fight.
Well, first he was fighting a guy that couldn't punch. Number one, Tony Harrison
He went
looked
toe-to-toe
older
with
than
Fundora.
Bernard Hopkins.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
He ain't getting knocked out the ring.
Do we see a birth certificate for this brother? Listen, he already got 3 losses in the tie.
What does that mean?
I would endorse, if I was Fundora, I would put down that taco, whatever he had at the beach that you showed, and I would start training right now for this old Harrison. He would drop Harrison.
Really?
Man. Harrison, first of all,
he's a classic boxer.
First of all,
That was
I
some
don't
good
like
boxing.
guys that have no class in the media room. He's saying all this cussing and swearing and all this
Everybody
stuff. Everybody
does it. You don't like a lot of people then. Everybody does that. Did you like Tank Davis?
Have a little class. No, I don't like the way his antics. That's why
These are
Mayweather
boxers.
got rid of it.
These aren't
That's why-
politicians. These are
that's why-
boxers,
That's
Jim.
why he want more money. He wants he wanted to get the money right. He told them.
These are boxers. I don't care about it.
Well,
They're not here giving speeches on
we
politics.
we know boy got a big head. We know that. He's gonna gain a lot of weight, Tank. So I think Tank is going the other way. I think he's already peaked and going on the other side now.
You know what I thought during this fight? Remember a few episodes ago when Loma fought on ESPN? Remember I said that was one of the most beautiful fights I ever seen a guy fight. Scientific. He was really smart. But he looked great. I was so impressed. Even those little clips that we show right there with Harrison. I know you weren't impressed with him, Jim.
No, not at all.
But he threw a punch and he didn't stand there and admire.
Right.
He moved and he
punch.
ducked.
And
but one minute he'd throw a jab, go this way. Nothing.
Exactly.
It wasn't
He didn't keep his
easy.
head on the line.
Right.
Throw a jab, move his head. I love
What you
that.
think
That's
about his
classic
orange
boxing.
gloves?
I don't care. Listen, Jim, there you go with the
He's a
fashion.
stylist.
Listen, his style in the ring was
He
great.
looked
He looked excellent.
almost as good as he did against Charlo.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was very
I just
close.
really appreciate. And again, no offense
Classic
to
boxer,
MMA
Jim. You don't like
fighters.
classic boxing?
He's
No
fighting-
offense.
Garcia shot. He's a shot.
But he
He's not a
looked
shot
great.
fighter. He
No,
looked
he's
good.
not shot.
Hey,
but
did you see what he did against
He made him look
Fundora?
shot. He made him look shot.
Sergio Garcia against Fundora, the fight before this was a great fight. They went toe-to-toe, went 12 rounds. He could have easily won that fight. He's not a bum.
It took a lot out of him, didn't it?
But let me ask you guys a question, and this is no offense to MMA fighters, because you get in that ring, you're a hell of a man or woman to get in that ring, and you have heart and passion, and I give everybody credit. But this is why I think boxing is just different, because again, there's a science to it, and they're just not. Remember Donnie DeLong when he had him on our show? He said MMA they just club you, and they do. And again, I'm not insulting anybody, but for me, I like the thought process. Like Fundora said, he took a knee down. I know some punches help, but there's some.
It's
It's a sweet science.
Yeah.
But
and Tony Harrison,
Jim,
he gets an A+ in the sweet
Jim,
science. He knows
I
how
really
to box.
thought he looked. I mean, just watch that little clip that we
Yes.
showed, and
Jim-
and when he
Jim
went
didn't see the
down,
fight.
Luth,
Jim
when he
didn't
went
see the
down,
fight.
he didn't go. He went down quick.
Yeah.
Everything he did was quick. It was short, quick, deliberate. It was smart.
Who's this? Who you talking about?
Tony Harrison.
Harrison.
You were impressed with anything he did physically.
Well, like I always said, boxing can learn a lot more from the WWE. You know what I mean? And I would. This is a guy got 3 losses in the title.
Jim,
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking about this.
Jim.
He did not impress me at all. He looked old to me.
Really?
He
Jim
looked-
didn't watch this.
was he
Jim
quick
didn't
to
watch
use
this
Jim-
with his glasses on. He was very impressive. This was the best he's looked since he fought Jamel
Charlo,
Charlo.
the first
said
time.
he
The
was-
first
you
time.
said he was
Even the
tired.
second time he was
Oh, he
winning.
looked.
You
Yeah,
said he got tired.
Later in
Well-
the fight, he had stamina issues at times. Yes,
but that can be fixed, I think.
I think
train a
you are
little
what
bit
you are.
more.
Yeah, I think you are what you are. He just some people just have stamina
He
later in
couldn't
the
even
fight.
connect
Conor
with a
Morrison was
punch
like
against
that.
the media, man. He missed.
Who was the
he had a
fighter?
clear shot.
I'm telling you, it was a
That
fighter
was a
that-
fighter. That
Yeah.
wasn't a media guy. And he saw him in the
he
crowd
went after
after the fight.
Yeah.
And
And
they were
what,
going
they
at it.
hugged? They
No.
hugged?
I think he's got a shot for a belt. I still think he's a hell of a contender.
He's a tough out for anyone. Jamel
Tough
Charlo
out.
had
Good
to
point.
had to go, tooth and nail with him. And I think he might have been losing that second fight till Tony Harrison got cocky and started stretching in the ring and got hit.
Yeah.
Well, he
Go
better,
look at
he
that.
better watch his how much money he's making. He'll lose his Social Security.
Jim, I'd say I was impressed with his movement, not just his footwork, but his upper
Exactly.
body. He moves
Jim,
well.
he didn't stay on the line.
And
He moved
Garcia's
his
tough,
head. He
yeah.
was great
He
out
didn't
there.
admire
You
anything.
I don't know what you were
Very
watching.
impressive
I don't-
undercard.
I don't think you watched the fight, Jim. Because if you watched that fight and weren't impressed by
He was buying
Harrison,
that Apple
I question
computer.
your boxing knowledge.
He was buying that
Jim,
Apple computer.
Come on.
Not impressed.
You just don't like
Tell-
Tony
tell-
Harrison because
tell
he's
our
from
fans
Detroit.
about what
He
your-
don't like him because he's from Detroit.
recent
Say what it is.
Would you drink water from Flint?
We're not talking about the water. He's fighting his heart out. He's a classic boxer, man.
Maybe you were playing with your recent purchase.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's it.
Yeah, he watched that.
Now, a fight that I did not see,
Oh.
but Mr. Dupree was contacting us, and he was upset. He was giving us round by round, and there's a local fighter named LUBIN Pintuck who is with Mike McSorley, he's a friend of the show, guest of the show.
We've had both of them on, in fact, right?
We haven't had Luther
No, we
on
didn't-
yet.
we didn't- oh, that's right.
And Mike's a great guy with integrity boxing, and Luther's sending texts. Man, Lumire's dominating the fight against Italian guy. I should know what the hell his name is.
Yeah,
It's here
Simone
somewhere.
Federico.
Federico
Simone.
Simone. Yeah. He's 19-2 and 1-8 knockouts. Lumire's 14-3, 1-8 knockouts. Luther, this is all yours. Tell us
New
what happened.
York, they robbed Pintuck. I think he dominated. I think he won. It was a close fight. I thought he could have done more if he let that jab out. He let the guy get inside a little too much. But I had him winning that fight 7-5. Both of the announcers had him winning that fight. I don't know what the judges were looking at. He
And what were the
clearly won.
scorecards?
It was
Unanimous?
It was unanimous for Simone Federica, and it was not. It should not have been. It should have been the other way because he landed more punches. I thought his punches were cleaner. No knockdowns in the fight, and the cards were way in Simone Federica's favor. So I don't know what New York did, but he went out there and they robbed him. He stormed out of the ring, and I support him with that. Horrible decision. I hope he comes back stronger and fights this guy again in a neutral area because
How
New
was
York.
Federici when he was he kind of like, damn, I won? Or
No, he had his hand up. He was celebrating. I think he had the judges in his pocket.
This was for the WBC Continental. Federici,
And that-
he had that belt, the WBC Continental America's belt, while taking the WBA and NABA gold belt from Pintuck.
And see, that's the thing. Sometimes when you go to these other cities,
Schenectady, New York.
that's connected to New York, you get robbed. And that was a clear robbery. There's no way he lost that fight. I
And
had
you
him
were upset about
7-5. That both of the announcers couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
They had Pinchuk winning, and he should have won that fight. But that's the thing. Sometimes these fighters go to another area in another guy's state and they get robbed. We knew that. Yeah, and then you could easily become a journeyman with
Right.
a lot of titles if you do that. We knew a couple guys like that from around this area. Rayco would go to different cities and get robbed.
Yeah.
And it
Your
is what it
thoughts
is.
on Pintuck? I know you've seen him a bunch. Good guy, obviously with a great team with Mike McSorley.
Well, I'm not going to flip-flop like Luther. This is a clear indication that, this is what Luther wants. He wants to push these guys too fast in other people's homes.
So it's your fault he lost.
And turn them into journeymen way before their time. Listen, the guy had a lot of amateur fights, 300 some amateur fights. He's very experienced. But Luther couldn't have said it better. When you fight a guy in his hometown, and I know that these fighters want that fight, but sometimes as a management and trainers and somebody more mature, you got to teach the fighter a little bit of patience. You know, the money,
He won
the
that
payday will
fight,
come.
Jim. He won that
You
fight.
gotta-
you know?
Well, according to Boxing Rec.
According to some judges, as we saw Saturday, some judges had Lubin beating FONDURA.
Now, if he would have fought this guy in Pittsburgh, it would have been a
Good
different
question.
outcome.
I mean, good comment.
Yeah.
So you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that, and I think he won there, but the judges robbed him. It happens in
Jim
boxing.
makes some good points
Sometimes-
once, so that notebook is
Listen,
good.
One thing we know, the only thing square in boxing is the ring,
right.
and that was proven in that fight.
Will you apologize to Jim about his notebook?
No, it's still trash.
Okay, our popular segment, Boxing Mailbag. Continue to send those great comments and questions to boxingmailbag@yahoo.com and on my show, The Claudio Rosano Show, on claudiorosano.com. Jim, Tom from Johnstown, do you think amateur boxing in Pittsburgh is getting better or declining?
Well, there's a lot of flooding in Johnstown, but amateur boxing is on the rise in the city of Pittsburgh. It's been down for many, many years. It used to be great back in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Now it's definitely on the rise.
Rise up. All right. Comment from Danny Scranton. Claudio, I'm writing for my dad who is 87. He agrees with you when you said on one of your shows that boxing promotions should build, cultivate, train, develop boxers the way Hollywood used to do with their actors. And I've been saying that for the longest time. You have a guy with a look, a personality. Let people know his story so people can latch onto him, so people have a rooting interest. That's what they used to do in Hollywood years ago. You know, maybe to an extreme.
Harrison don't have the look.
Oh, there you go.
Back to Harrison.
Harrison
Former
dominated.
champ, man, he's good.
Come on, man. He
Okay.
dominant. He was dominant, Saturday.
Luther, Vic from Boston. I was a big David Hay fan. I know Claudio is as well. My boy Vic. Do you really think he was a B-level fighter? And Claudio, do you think if he had had better management, he could have been a star? Yes. Ironically, and I didn't do this on purpose, that last question, cultivate. He had the look, he had the mouth, he had the personality.
He didn't have the skill.
He had this. He could hit.
Yeah,
he
looked
had the
part.
haymaker.
He
You still haven't watched that damn show.
I watched
No,
some
you
clips
didn't.
on. Watched some clips on YouTube. It was a nice fight between two C-level fighters, and sometimes that's what happens.
You really think he's C-level?
Yes.
Come on,
David
Luke.
Hay was not impressive. Yes, he had a nice look. You know, he could look the tough. He could look and he could talk it, but once he got
he
in the
talked
ring,
it.
no. Once he got in
I
the ring
still-
against good
could he have been
competition, he got
a bigger
exposed.
star?
No, he got as far as he could. He got a chance at the title and got knocked out. That was great. That was great for him. For his talent, that was good for him.
All three. Rebecca from Austin, Texas. How would Christy Martin have done today? I'm totally not sure. Luther.
Listen, I think Christy Martin would have been great in any era because she had a heart. The coal miner's daughter, she was fighting some soccer moms here and there, but she would give it her all, and she'd be competitive. I mean, these girls today are, they have all the skills, all the training, but do they have the heart?
And that's
She
right.
could hit.
She didn't mind getting hit.
She didn't mind getting hit. She survived, her husband when he attacked her.
Oh.
She was tough as nails. Heck yeah, she could survive, and she would be a champion today.
She was a friend of the show as well.
Yes.
Today she'd be the opposite of Clarissa Shields.
Oh, why you got to slander?
Popular.
You had to find a way to slander Clarissa.
All right, this is from, we got 1 minute left. Okay, Claudio, Gene from Tacoma, Washington. Most memorable Paz fight. The Dana Rosenblatt first fight, there was a lot of animosity between the two. Vinny was nice to him. Rosenblatt disrespected the hell out of him. And then they fought the first couple rounds. Rosenblatt was winning. You are going to get punched. You are going to get hit a little bit. And then Vinny threw the big knockout punch. And then he just beat the hell out of the rest of the fight. Go watch that. Pazienza Rosenblatt won. Excellent fight. I was kicking people out of my house. They kept saying, Vinny's losing, Vinny's losing. All of a sudden, crack, and he wins the fight. As always, we hope you enjoy our show, The Boxing Authorities, as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you for tuning in to The Boxing Authorities.